Shalom. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, and Kakodash, and the honors to the apostles and others, great Muslim salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Ahmed Allah from Gemma, Chicago, and this is going to be a response video to this brother that just did this video not too long ago about martial law is coming to the hood. It's time. And in this video, after watching it, it goes to show you that when Trump was giving the speech about, sending the National Guard in to clean up the slums, and then, basically it's talking about the hood, and guess who you have living out there in the hood and them, slums, is what Trump is saying, is Jake, these so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you make up that, the people that are, that are living in poverty. And, even Trump said it too, that, he wants to, basically remove the homeless, basically the poor, off the streets, and now, he is sending the National Guard over there. And this is just the beginning, you haven't, things haven't gotten gruesome just yet, but it's getting to that point where, we're coming into them times where, eventually, Esau is going to declare martial law, and this is not just going to be in D.C. only, you already have that shit happening in California, and real soon it's going to be in every state, and hey, this is the Lord, putting the spirit in Esau, to basically prepare that sword, Alright, so here is Ezekiel chapter 21 and verse 9. Alright, I'm gonna start at I'm gonna start at 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord. Say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Shall we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as a retreat. And that's what the Lord is putting the spirit in Esau to do, because Esau's blessing is a sword, and through the scriptures, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and he turneth whatsoever he will, and this is what the Lord is doing. He's using Esau, to put the spirit on Esau to come down onto you 2/3, with great wrath, and then, hey, once martial law gets declared, they're not gonna come in peace, they're not gonna come in peace, they're gonna shoot some of you jigs down, well, majority of you, and they're gonna throw a majority of you into FEMA camps, this is why they got the detention centers all that are all getting built around, the United States, this is why they got the alligator Alcatraz, and this is why, Trump is also considering making a larger FEMA camp. But over the past years and shit, as far as I remember, Esau has been having FEMA camps, Esau has been building FEMA camps. They could literally take a Walmart near you and make that into a FEMA camp, these FEMA camps that Esau is building, of course, he's even going to throw in his own people in there too, these heathen nations are also going to be thrown in there too, but mainly, Esau is coming for you, Jake, used to call blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Right? It says, and he have given it to be first, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Alright? And yeah, that sword, is being furbished, is being, polished and stuff. Which is Esau's blessing, right? Because he's about to use his toys and shit. Alright? Because not so long ago, last year, of September the 27th of 2024, alright, Esau passed a DOD bill, alright, which I showed you in the last video that I made, that the authorities, or federal authorities or whatever, during a time of crisis, right, if needed, they have the authority to shoot civilians. Alright, they have authority to shoot, to shoot people down if they're not, behaving well and shit, or even if they aren't. Alright, and yeah, Esau is getting ready to use his sword on you, two-thirds of you, Jake. Right? None of this shit is done by coincidence. Right? Esau premeditated on this. All right. Fuck. So lucky. Let me try to put my Wi-Fi on. Shit's not working. Alright. Hosea 4 and 6. And hey, this is why the Lord is going to kill a lot of the majority of you, two-thirds of Israel. Alright? Or pretty much all of you, really. Let's say Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also reject thee, and that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I also forget thy children. That's right. Our people are destroyed because of the lack of knowledge, and they rejected this knowledge. They rejected this warning. All right. Instead, what they continue to do is, scoff and mock the prophets, or they just walk by and not listen at all. All right. That's these two-thirds, rejecting, the word of the Lord. And you see, the Lord is gonna have to, slay basically all you two-thirds. Right? Because thou hast loathed my law and abused my ways. Got another one, like 2nd Esdras 9, and I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna start with 9. 2nd Esdras 9 and 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. And this, with the two-thirds, because they, hearken not unto the words of the Lord. All right, because in the times that we're coming into, all right, only this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to be the stability of my times. All right, this is where your faith is going to be heavily relying on, is on these scriptures. All right. It says, for such as in the life have received benefits and have not known me, and they have loathed my law. And loathe means, disgust. All right. Two-thirds of our people, they hate this word, right? All right, they hateth him that rebuketh in the gate. Our people are not of that humble mindset. All right, our people don't like to get humble. Right, they like to buck up and scream on the top of their lungs, and they just don't want to get right. So this is why the Lord has to slay them. It says, and they that have loved my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet a place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. And that's right. Since they can't, hearken the right way right now, when the time becomes too late, when they are not able to receive this word, when the famine of the word occurs and they don't see us out there in the highways and byways when martial law is declared and all that, these people are going to have no cloak for their sins, right? They're going to have no cloak for their sins. And everything that they have done to the prophets, right, unto the Lord's chosen people, they're going to have to pay for that. It says the same, well, it says, I'm going to start again. And when as yet a place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. So these people, they all heard the word before, right? They all have received this warning. They all had, heard this word before, and they heard about the Israelites, right? Well, guess what? They despised it. It says the same must know it after death by pain. And that's right. Since they don't want to get it right the easy way, right? They're gonna have to learn the hard way, death by pain. Right, and Esau, right? Esau is getting ready to declare martial law, right? Esau is gonna reveal who he really is. Right? He's about to set up draconian measures, right? He's about to make, a new way of living hell for you, 2/3 of Jakes. Right? Of course, us of the elect, of the hopeful elect, we're gonna go through it too, but the Lord is gonna take care of us, right? According to Psalms 91 and on down. And then, this is for us right here, right? Psalms 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And that secret place is, being this truth, right? We're going to be covered in the times that we're coming into, right? The Lord is about to make miracles happen for His elect, in the time of trouble. Even when we get into a jam in the times, right? The Lord is going to make a way out for us to escape. Alright? The Lord is going to even lift up a standard against our enemies. Right? So that they don't touch us. And scriptures also tell you that, no evil, shall, touch His elect. It says, verse 2, I will say, O Lord, He is my... oh, fuck. Slacking. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust, and His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. And you see, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, alright, of the scriptures is going to be our shield and our buckler, right? That's how important this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is, right? Because, hey, once, to have His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, this goes to show you that you fear Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushua, you're trying to do right? And having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, it goes to show you that you do fear the Lord, and you do want Him to deliver you in the times that we're coming into. Right? It says, verse 5, and thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor from the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall there any plague come nigh thy dwelling. You see? So in the times that we're coming into, right, the time of Jacob's trouble, which is about to begin, alright, we don't know when still, but all we know is close, because, Esau is ready to use his sword, right? You can see that. Esau is getting ready to use his sword, right? He's passing all these, bills, especially the big, beautiful bill that has already been passed, alright? He's setting up a lot of distractions, now more so than ever. Everybody's all hooked up to UFC, or about the fucking Diddy, all this other crap and shit. The files, everybody is distracted about all that crap. Meanwhile, Esau is passing all these legislations, all these bills, and getting ready to use all the things that has already been passed in those bills to be used against you, Jakes, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And that's what you're starting to see right now. But with that, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.